Does your JVC stereo do this every time you want to play a CD on it? Well, look no further, because in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix this and hopefully make the CD player work like new again. Let's get started. So as you can see, I've got this JVC HX-Z1 here, and it's having a bit of issues playing CDs. Notably, when trying to switch to CD 2 or 3, it just gets stuck and doesn't want to do it. Yeah, we're gonna fix this today. This also works on the Z3, which I've already done this one, so this one works a lot better now. But the Z1 over here, it's still having problems. This thing is definitely in worse condition than my Z3 over there. And hopefully this will fix the issue. As for the tape player, I don't think the tape player works on this either. That's a little bit more involved to get to though. You have to take off a little bit more on the front to get at it. I'm not going to be going over that in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to fix the CD player belt. So to start off with, I'm going to get the Z1 outside in better lighting so I can show you guys how to do this. I'll be right back. And here we are in the outside world. So before we begin, I'm going to go over real quickly the tools you're going to need to fix the belt on the stereo system. So just to start off, of course, you're going to need belts. You're also going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to need preferably a long one just in case. And also, if you have one, a nice just toolkit that has a bunch of different bits inside. You can choose exactly what you need. That's hopefully something you have around. Otherwise, just get a longer screwdriver and then a shorter one. That should be fine. Alright, with that nonsense out of the way, let's start tearing into this JVC Z1. Again, this same routine also works on the Z3. They're basically the same thing inside. Alright, just to start, I'm going to show you guys the locations of all the screws. So there's going to be one screw on this side, then there's going to be another screw on the other side, and then on the back here, there's going to be one screw right here, right here, right here, and here, there, and there. So those are all the screws you're going to have to take out, and then this whole top metal casing will come off, and then we can get access to the inside. So let me do that real quick, and I'll be back with you guys in a second. Okay, so now all the screws are off. Now to get this casing off, I like to lift up from the back here. And you see it'll kind of keep going, and then it'll kind of just lift off. That's my easiest way I found to get these off. Alright, and just like that, you have access to the inside of your JVC stereo. Now chances are the inside of yours is pretty dirty, especially if you have never taken it apart before. So feel free, if you want to now, you can take like a little air compressor or something and just blow it out. Just be sure you don't make this fan in here go spinning at 200 miles an hour. Just try to hold the fan while you do that. And otherwise, we should be set to start working on the CD mechanism. So, as you can see, this part up here is the CD mechanism. This is going to be the part we're going to be focusing on today. So to start off with, we're going to get this CD mechanism out of this casing so that we can start working on this alone, and we can move this whole casing out the way. To take this apart, there's going to be a couple screws. So there's going to be one right up there. There's going to be two right up top here. There's going to be one right there. And then there's going to be another one right in here, right under there. So let me get these two screws out real fast. Looks like there's going to be two more on this as well. So there's the two in the front. There's going to be another one right here. And then the other one is on the other side, right there. So let me get these two out as well. Okay, and that should be everything we need to get this whole CD mechanism out of here. So you should be able to just kind of lift up on it. Yep. Okay, and hold on. Before you do anything, we can't forget about this. On the other side here, there's a little ribbon connector going to the CD player. You're just going to want to gently wiggle that out. Just like so. And there it goes. Alright. So that's the only connector going to this, as far as I can see. So now you should be good. If the Z3 is any different, just look for any ribbon connectors going to this board right here, and be sure to take those out. I don't know if the Z3 has any more because of the MP3 CD, but Just take any ribbon connectors out, and then from there, boom, the whole CD mechanism pops right out. Alright, so let me clear the desk of this whole amplifier here, and we'll get just the CD mechanism on here. And there it is. So basically from here, we're going to want to get this little top cover off of here. So there's going to be one screw right here, here, and here. This might be where it's handy to have the smaller screwdriver, because these screws are a little smaller than the ones for the outside casing. Boom, smaller screwdriver required. So it's going to be this screw right here. We're going to take this one out. So this screw, then there's going to be this screw right here, and then this screw right over here. Always be sure to keep your screws separated and mark them if you need to, just to make sure you know which goes where. Alright, so now you can see this little cover lifts up. There's a little clip right here, a metal clip. You kind of want to twist it around. I don't know if you can see how I'm doing this. Like, twist it upwards, and then it should just pull right out once you put it flat, just like that. You can see it's kind of curved. Alright, so you can set that to the side. So now we have this all exposed. So to get these trays out is a little interesting. So this actually took me a while to figure out the first time I did this. So there's these little clips right here, and basically to get this out, it might help if you had like a flathead screwdriver. So I'm gonna swap this bit out for a flathead. All you're gonna want to do is kind of lift up on this tab just a little bit, and then you should feel this loosen up. There we go. Okay, so there's two tabs. There's this little metal one, and then there's like a little plastic one. Let me see if I can get you guys. All right, now you guys can hopefully see what I'm doing. So there's this little metal piece, and then there's this little plastic one. You're gonna want to lift up on that plastic one if you can. And then this should just start sliding out, just like that. We'll do it to the second tray as well. Do this gently. You don't want to break any of this plastic. All right, let's try the top one. Okay, that one will be a little nicer. Okay, the top one was nice. Now let's try this one again. Alright guys, so I've also just noticed this as well. If the tray is giving you troubles not coming out, make sure. So you guys can see there's like two separate trays for all these. So there's the main tray that pops out, and there's also this tray, which is separate, and it brings the disc to the player. And if this tray is locked in, it won't let it move. So if you want to unlock it, it's hard to see because this player thing is still on, but if you look real close right here, you can see there's a little clip right there. So what I'm going to try doing here is lifting it over that clip. Be careful with it. You don't want to break it. There you go. Just kind of lift it over, and now you can pop this back out. And look at that. Now it works. That's also something to keep note of. Whatever tray you had in there might still be stuck in there, so you got to kind of lift up on that clip there to free it. But once you get all those trays moved, you can see we have access to all the mechanisms in here and everything. And you can see our belts right here, which they don't seem terrible, but I don't know. Apparently they need to be replaced because it's not working well enough. So to get at these belts, again, it's going to help if you have a smaller screwdriver, especially for these. So there's going to be a screw right here, here, and it looks like that's it. So we're going to get this screw out. There we go. And then there's also this screw right here. Doesn't want to get magnetized. Okay, there we go. So now this should kind of just lift out. Unless I'm missing a screw somewhere, which I don't think I am. It's because of this tab right here. You gotta flip this over. Flip that back just a little bit. It's probably not best to do it with a screwdriver. Just do it with your hand. Pull it back and lift up. Just like that. There we go. Alright, so now we got this metal piece off, and now we have access to all of our belts. So, let's start with this one here. There we go. So there's one of our belts, and do the same with the other. Alright. And if that happens, it's not the end of the world. That's what that little metal bracket is supposed to prevent. If one of these pops off, just set it back on, just like that. There's a little, there's difference. So the bottom here has the little gears, the top doesn't. Make sure the gear side is facing down. And this one does the same thing too. It pops off just like the others. So if it does, just put it back on. And here we go. Here are our 2 old belts in all of their glory. We're gonna head to our new belt stash right here. And we're gonna find one that matches, which this one might work. Let's test that one first. So yeah, sometimes you get kits like this. It helps to test through a bunch of them and see which ones seem to fit the best. This one definitely feels like it's a little loose, so I'm not going to go with that one. These small ones might have to do the trick. Perfect. Alright, you can kind of twist it and test it a little bit. Try to straighten that belt out. So that seems good to me. Okay, so I'm going to use that same size belt for the other one as well. To get these on, I like to start from the smaller one and then kind of fit it on the bigger one. It helps if you have small hands for this, which I don't, apparently. There we go, kind of wrap it around. Alright, there we go. So let's test this one again, kind of straighten that belt out. Perfect. Alright, and just like that, your new belts are installed. That's really all it is. It's not too much at all, I don't think. You just got to be sure you get the right size belt on there, which this one seems nice and strong. This should cause no issues. So now we can set our little metal piece back on there. You can see there's like little clips it clips onto. And then also clip it onto here, just like it was it before. There we go. You might have to push pretty hard to get that little clip back in there, but which, as you can see, I just broke this little plastic clip. Again, you might break stuff in here. It's not the end of the world because it's held down with screws. This plastic is, you know, 20 years old, so gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. But as long as you screw these screws back down, you'll have no problems. I'm not sure what happened there. The Z3 didn't do that, so I'm not sure why that one's so stubborn. But either way, it's back on now. If the clip breaks, oh well, I guess. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to show you guys it'll still work just fine. Now, from here, we're pretty much done with this inside section, so you can just push these back in. There you go. Then they'll lock back into place. So now from here, we can put this little top beauty cover thing, whatever you want to call it, back on.
And put the stupid beauty cover back on?
Obviously, it does more than that because it has this little clip on it, so it's definitely important. But to get it back on, so again, it's a little metal clip here. You kind of want to get it straight up and down. And then it'll kind of slot in there just like that. And then from there, you can twist it back over. And then set it back in so the screw holes all line up. And just like that, you're lined up. We're just going to put our screws back in, which hopefully you guys separated in a good spot where you know where they go. And there we go. Just like that, your CD mechanism is all put back together and ready to go. So we're going to bring the amp back. We're going to need this again. And now to reinstall it, it's going to be pretty much the same process. Let me actually show you guys the front here when I do this. So when you put it in, line it back up in there. Alright, let me show you guys the front. Alright, so you gotta kind of slot the CD trays back in the opening where they go. Just like that. Alright. And that's it. Once they're slotted in, you'll see the screw holes where you took them out before. They all should line up. Be sure to check all 4 of them, which I've just checked mine and all of mine do. So I'm gonna screw all these back in real fast. And this is where the long screwdriver comes in. It helps if it's magnetized as well. It's a little difficult to get into these little spots here. And that is literally it. That's all there is to changing the belts on your Z1 or Z3. Let me get this old belt out of here. Yuck. Okay, so I'm going to plug this thing in real fast, and I am going to show you guys that it still works fine. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. It appears I have forgotten a very important step to this process. So this is definitely not future me. This is me knowing exactly what I'm doing here. Be sure you reconnect this ribbon cable right here. It just slots in the same place you took it out. Okay, there we go. Now that's back in. Now let's continue where we left off here. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we go. We are ready for the final test. Let's head over to CD3 to start. Okay, now back to 1. And up to 2. Boom. And there we go. It just made it all the way from the top to the bottom, back to 2. No problems at all. Before, it would struggle all the time with that. So that's definitely an improvement. It's still a little slow. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but as long as it works, that's what matters, right? So that's literally all it took, was a new belt replacement. I'm going to put the casing back on, and I'll meet you guys back inside. Alright, so just before I wrap this video up, I want to show you guys the CD mechanism in action. This should be the same with the Z3 as well. But I'm just going to hit up to CD2, and we'll watch it do its thing. And there we go. If there was a CD in there, it would have read it. Oh, it's going back for another round. Okay, not sure what that was about. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, it works a lot better than it did before. Before going to CD2 or 3 or whatever, it would just stall out every time. This time it actually made it. You can see towards the top it had a little bit of an issue, but, you know, it still made it in the end, so that's what matters. But anyway, let me put this casing back on and wrap this video up. Alright, so here we are, back in the room. So we're gonna try the CD player out. So we're gonna have the CD3, which apparently we're already there. Alright, well, I guess we're going back to CD1. Okay, it's not going to let us do anything until it goes through, so we'll let it do its thing here. This is a good test to see if it works anyway. And it does. Look at that. Alright. Let's eject CD2. This is the one that was originally in here. There we go. Would you look at that? Alright. Well, there we go. There's a CD player working in the Z1. This Z1 is definitely not in the best of condition. I will be the first to admit that. But at least now both the Z1 and the Z3 over there have working CD players. These are easily some of my favorite JVC stereos. The Z1 and the Z3 are both great. So I'm glad to have these CD players working. Maybe the tape player will be coming soon. I would like to get the tape players working in it for sure. But it's a lot more complicated, but I think I can figure that out. I actually just replaced the tape player in this one. Well, I didn't replace it, I fixed the belt. So that was a fun experience. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this from other stereos maybe, then please hit the like button and show me that you would like to see more. Also hit the giant red subscribe button. And with that, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!